So we've just kind of shifted gears and like, you got to just be open to kind of, meeting the market wherever they are, because it's constantly evolving, constantly changing. Sometimes it's like taking an old design and reinventing it as like something like a wall art. We used to sell a lot of this particular type of wall art.
Welcome to the DTC Insider podcast, where online business owners come to find actionable tips and tactics to grow their businesses. Now, here's your host, Brian Roisentul.
Welcome to another episode of the DTC Insider podcast. I'm Brian Roisentul, your host, and today I'm going to interview Adam Vernon, the founder of Colorado Ski Chairs. Hey, Adam, thanks for being on the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, Brian.
Yeah, my pleasure. So why don't you start by introducing yourself and telling the audience more about you and the company?
Yeah, I started Colorado Ski Furniture about 18, 19 years ago now. I was a ski racer growing up and just always enjoyed doing that, and had a bunch of other corporate jobs and sales and marketing things that I did over the years. I've worked in healthcare for a long time and just wanted to do something a little different. And I had a bunch of old skis laying around and just built a ski chair in my backyard one day just for fun on the weekend, just kind of farting around. And all my friends and neighbors were like, "Man, that's really cool. Like, what made you think of that?" I'm like, "I don't know. I kept picking up skis and not getting rid of old skis, and just had a lot of stuff laying around, and still have lots of collectibles and stuff here." But it's my little home office. But um, so yeah, now fast forward to now, we've recycled over 1 million pounds of skis and snowboards and barrels and things like
Oh,
that. Yeah, I've got like 20 employees, and we ship all over the country, and just kind of, bringing stuff back to life for people. And it's really fun. It's really cool. Kind of unexpected.
I mean, if I had old skis in my backyard or anything like a piece of good, I don't know what I would do because I suck at all of those skills. So did you have like, I don't know, any family member taught you, or did you have, were you self-taught, do you know how to do those stuff?
Yeah, like, we make stuff out of like whiskey barrels and, snowboards and golf clubs and, kind of bunch of different stuff. Like the ones I initially made, I'm not the world's best carpenter, so I kind of was just winging it in the beginning. And, now I've got a whole team of guys that are all great carpenters and welders and painters and all that. But it's like, you don't have to be a skier. Like we have a lot of cool, just different things. You could, we make stuff out of barn wood and, all sorts of different stuff now. But it's pretty neat. Like people like, we started doing custom paint jobs and custom like carvings and stuff too. So like people can, they have us paint their dogs in their honeymoon photos, and, their favorite mountain range or whatever. Like we'll paint those on a chair or like a wall piece or a table or something like that. So it's pretty wild how it's evolved into so many different things now.
Yeah. And you said you started like a long time ago, like 18 years ago, probably almost 20 years, right?
Yeah,
So the world, I could say, changed a little bit
a lot.
since then.
Yeah, we've
It
been
was
through
before
definitely.
the 2008 crash, it was before the pandemic. It was
Yeah.
a lot. So what do you think that changed the most? Before talking about the business in the market, like
Yeah.
like associated to your industry, of course.
Yeah, it's hard to say. Like we have a little brick and mortar store in this little tourist town, and things have been, we have really great seasons and really, really slow ones, over the last 20 years. But it's like, in general, people still keep coming because we're sitting right at the foot of Pikes Peak. We're in this little cute, tourist town, Manitou Springs, and we're right next to Colorado Springs. So it's a big population there, in Denver and Boulder, Dale and Aspen and Breck, and all these big towns are, they're all within a few hours away. So it's like we get a lot of people and a lot of tourists no matter what, even when the tourism's down. Online, I think reaching people online is a constant battle of like trying to stay relevant, trying to put out good content that people think is interesting. And, so we're always trying to innovate that and, just come up with cool new stuff that people think, oh, wow, like I didn't like what they used to do, but now I really like what they're doing now, so trying to kind of, stay front of mind or come up with something cool and new and different and change up the colors and change up the styles and, just keep trying new things. And people hit us up all the time too of like, can you do this crazy idea? And usually it's a yes. Sometimes projects get really expensive and then people are like, oh, never mind. I don't have $5,000 for that.
It's not only that you produce what you want to produce, but people ask you for custom work with their skis as well.
Yeah, and now it's more like businesses are hitting us up, which is kind of cool. Like the current economy is a little tougher for people to buy more luxury goods right now. So, certain demographics aren't affected and others are, but like, some of the bigger companies like Coca-Cola just bought like 4 big chairs from us last week. We meet these 8-foot tall giant chairs and like they always have the budget, everybody's still drinking Coca-Cola apparently. Companies like that, it's like, you know, we'd like to help them with their branding. And it's pretty neat that we've been able to reach some of those folks too. So it's like, you never really know what's coming, so I love it when somebody's just saved up for years too. Like, hey, we just finally bought a house. We've been following you guys for 10 years. We have a deck. We have somewhere to put these chairs now. We moved out of the apartment and hey, we need 4 chairs for the deck. And I've been, saving up for 10 years. Like we get those kind of calls too, which is really fun. And like, or my kids were ski racers and they're getting, somebody's getting married. And so I'm going to bring you all his old skis and I want you to make a chair to surprise him, for his 40th birthday or for a wedding gift or those kind of things. It's kind of neat. Like it's something significant and memorable. And it's kind of fun. Like the different things that come on over the years that still surprise me. Like 20 years later, like you never really know what's coming. Some days we're super busy and it's crazy and there's all kinds of new things, and other days it's kind of slow and you never know what's coming, but it's still fun. It's always interesting. It's not boring corporate for sure. Like not
Yeah.
predictable at all.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Not predictable at all.
Yeah, nothing's predictable, even less these days in
Yeah.
today's economy, technology, like everything is unpredictable. But, I can think of 1,000 questions because, most brands I interview these days, probably many of them have been created after the pandemic. And don't get me wrong, they are super successful. Some of them achieve, I don't know, 8 figures, 9 figures more. But in business for a long time, as you guys are doing, is super tough. Some companies don't last a year or two, and you're lasting 18 and counting. So I wanted to ask you, I read today on LinkedIn a post that talked about how some well-known companies don't sell the same things they used to sell. So their hero products changed over time, like a lot. They changed industries like Nokia and many other companies. Like they didn't start doing what they do today, but like nothing at all.
Yeah.
Did that happen to you, or do you sell, or are your hero products more or less the same?
No, it's evolved a lot. Like I would say like just the little, Adirondack ski chair was kind of our first thing. And we still sell a few of those, but it's nowhere near the top of the list now. And then painted chairs, like painted custom or painted with like a Colorado flag or a USA flag or some kind of country flag or something. Like we still do a ton of those. Mostly the Colorados are just kind of timeless here. Yeah, we moved into those giant chairs and the whiskey and wine barrel chairs and the ski lifts. We've kind of evolved into, I think it's about 10 years ago, we did a ski lift. Somebody brought in and wanted us to put a base on it. And so I think we did a wooden one initially and then hired a welder and started doing the metal ones. And now there's just tons of chairlifts that we've been doing. People bring in, I had bought this chairlift at an auction 5 years ago, 20 years ago, or whatever. And I never got around to using it. Like, can you guys help me weld this into something usable? And then, of course, sandblast it, powder coat it, build a seat on it, make it hang or make it stand up. And that whole thing wasn't on my radar for the first, 10 years of the company. And now it's probably, number 1 or 2 best, moving items that we have right now. So that's been kind of neat. it's really it's evolution every year. Like the things that we paint, the things that we build, it really does change it. And now multiple times a year, like there's seasons for different product categories. And so I kind of have to forecast in my mind, like, okay, we're moving into shot ski season. We're moving into ski pole plunger, holiday funny gift, goofy items season. And, we're moving into like wedding season and all these different ones. So we kind of have to plan for, what the trends are. But then there's still always like antique snowshoes sell all year long and, coffee tables and benches and little side tables and stuff like that sell all year long. So there's some stuff that's stuck around and there's other things like painted benches. I haven't really sold many the last 5 years at all, and they're just starting to make a resurgence now. So it's very unpredictable, but like we're also trying to put out new things every year, so it keeps people's interest, and they're always seeing something new. So my guys get frustrated with me when I'm trying to be like, hey, we need more golf chairs, we need new chair bases, like completely different styles, and they're like, we don't have time, dude. Like we really don't have time, and I'm like, all right, well, when you get a slow week, let's try a few new things. And it's tough. It's tough to always juggle it all, really.
For sure. And what about your customer? Did your customer evolve, or has your customer evolved over time, or do you, target the same people you used to target back then? Like it could be B2B, B2C.
Yeah, it was real heavy B2C for a long time. And we've now it's more 50-50 like B2B. It's really become more of like, mom and dad and the kids like getting something for the deck or the fire pit or the house, the new backyard or whatever. That was really our bread and butter for the first 10 years. And now it's more so like those same people may be coming back, but they bought an Airbnb or something. And, or their friends or neighbors of like, hey, we love this set at our house. We're going to put one at the new rental property. We're going to get more bookings, stuff like that. And then, and now just, yeah, reaching some of these beverage companies and the hotels and the hospitality industry has been really good to us. So I think they realize like having something that's really different and cool and fun and stands out of a more of an unforgettable experience for the guests, where they're going to maybe also take pictures and post it on Instagram for them and tag their company or whatever like that. I think we're getting more people minded of like, making this furniture not just be for them, but be for their guests or for their clients or for their customers, and trying to like, share those kind of feel good vibes to actually help their business or their, some other goal that they're working on too. A lot of people are doing multiple jobs more than ever and side hustles and all those things. So we're getting just new interactions that we haven't gotten before too.
Right. So you mentioned, people going to your store, people calling you, people buying online. What are the main marketing channels for you right now? And how did that change over time as well?
Yeah. So, having a brick and mortar store has always been great. And I kind of forget about it when we go through the slow season, and um it's kind of dead at our store, honestly, between like Christmas and spring break. It's pretty quiet. The other 8 or 9 months are pretty busy there. But yeah, it's having, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn's really big now. And we've tried to hit, YouTube and Twitter a little bit, and some of the other, TikToks and all the different ones. Like Etsy's been pretty good. We have a store there. People kind of appreciate the handcrafted goods on there as well. But yeah, like Google ads and all those kinds of things. We're pretty good at just trying everything and seeing where, where we get some traction. My web guy's been pushing a lot of stuff onto Reddit lately, I guess, has been pretty good. And we're just, yeah, we're doing mostly ads there, but just kind of experimenting with what are new channels to reach people. I didn't want to do like a cheesy local furniture store, cable TV commercial or something silly that we grew up with, all these goofy mattress guys or something. I didn't really want to try that, but maybe we should have. Maybe we should,
And
lean in
I don't know
more.
about your ads. I didn't watch your ads, but I did see that you have like almost like, I don't know, 6.5K subscribers on YouTube, and you do some shorts there, and you show the behind scenes or the process of, well, manufacturing.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. Like people love watching those. Like I know I do.
Yeah.
Whenever I see some people crafting something and whatever that is, it's like I don't know, relaxing with all the like. It's I think you perceive these ads with all of your senses, even more if the sound is on, and these fast motion ads with all the like the sounds of.
And stop motion, and they're doing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
it's
it's
cool.
like so it's pretty cool to see how things come, to life, especially like these original things, because it's not that common thing. Like for you listening or watching these, like if you don't know what they do, go to
Yeah.
coloradoskichips.com. Of course, it's in the
Yeah.
show notes, but you can check that out because it's pretty cool. It's something original. It's not just another chair, right?
Yeah, like we did one on TikTok a few years ago, and it was just my guys in the parking lot, my builders, like playing cornhole on a set of cornhole boards we made out of old skis. And just something nobody in the world is making those besides us, like painted ski cornhole sets, which is just kind of something you wouldn't think of, but they're amazing because they work great outside, that the weather doesn't beat them up, that the warp, like wood doesn't warp or anything, like, and people just thought that was cool. And we got like 2 million views, and then I have another one of, it's my wife or one of my other painters she was painting at the shop, and we put that video up recently on Reddit, and that got over like 1 million views as well. And it's cool seeing someone paint like old pairs of skis that are, screwed together into this chair frame, and then you see the final product, and it's cool to watch that like stop motion. And a couple of my builders right now, Mark and Angel, they've been doing videos on what they're doing at the store every day, and they've come up with some really funny ones, but you kind of see their process of what they're working through, and I think people really really dig that. And that's been such a big trend the last few years, so we try to get good at it. But like 5-10 years ago, nobody was really doing that, and 20 years ago, like, we've done a few, but now it's kind of like we're trying to do one every week. Like, it's like it's pretty neat, and it's pretty fun, honestly.
Yeah, it is said that it all starts by having a great product. And even though I interview amazing brands and I love all of them, many of them sell things that their competitors sell too. Sure, one might say they have X benefits over their competitors and the other way around. But in this case, do you think that the fact that you have kind of I could say a moat with your products because they are unique, let's say, is one of the key factors or the key reasons for your business to last this long?
I think so. I try to focus on like reinventing, what are we all about, seasonally and annually, and, every few years, like just trying to meet like, okay, well, nobody's buying these. So I kind of, put those on the back burner and try to put, okay, what is working right now? Like people are into this, people are into that. Like, so we do we shift gears a lot and try to stay like, you know, people seem to be buying like this year either very inexpensive items or very expensive items, which is funny because it used to always be more of like the middle
Right.
tier stuff. So it's really wild. You got to keep just offering different things and switching it up. Sometimes it's like taking an old design and reinventing it as like something like a wall art. We used to sell a lot of this particular type of wall art. Well, now it's selling better as like a single snowboard, simple bench. And it's about the same price as it used to be, but it's a little bit harder for us to make them. But if we make a bunch of them, we can keep the cost down. So we've just kind of shifted gears, and like you got to just be open to kind of, meeting the market wherever they are, because it's constantly evolving, constantly changing.
Yeah, I'm thinking, because I the other day I spoke on stage in an e-commerce event here in Argentina, and it was about AI in e-commerce. And I said, don't laugh. I said in front of probably over 600 people on stage in an AI talk that I wish I was a plumber because, but hear me out. It's like everyone was mocking about, people with, let's say, non-techy professions back in the days. Like, you should be like, parents were encouraging their kids, like, you should study this, you should learn how to code, because we thought that that was going to be the ultimate mode because,
Yeah.
and who is going to do that otherwise, right? These days with AI, probably developers are being replaced way faster than plumbers, right?
Yeah, that's wild to think about.
Yeah, sometimes the between quotes, because I don't want to judge, but let's say between quotes, the boring job or let's say the
old
evergreen
fashioned kind of
job
stuff.
that's been always there for everyone is now the most wanted. Now, some would argue, and I agree with them too, that why being a plumber? Because it's like this is the most exciting time to be in the field of, I don't know, marketing, uh, development, because you can buy code and build whatever you want with this copilot and create. And yes, of course. But I'm just saying that kind
Yeah.
of kidding, but partially not. Like we, these, let's say, timeless professions, nothing is, let's say, irreplaceable, but it's easier these days to build a moat. Like, how many skincare brands are out there and are built every single year or month, right? With
Yeah.
the ultimate ingredients, the ultimate formula. But now it's like, hey, you have this business, and sure, nothing is irreplaceable, but it's, let's say, more timeless, the way I see it.
Yeah. Yeah. It is the timeless professions and, some of the like the household goods, like we've tried to expand into different, like we're doing more indoor stuff now. So we're doing like painted snowboards as like an office mural, or we're building more like reception desks in like, certain just wall arts for your hallway and, a lot more indoor based like man cave kind of chairs or like, hospitality, like specialty indoor seating as well as, just doing the outdoor stuff. So yeah, we've tried to adapt too. And yeah, finding us hiring employees, it is harder than ever to find like the right person. People want to just like work the front desk or, be a cashier or, you know, just do my, one, meta ads or something like that. And it's like, and, with our small business, like you really have to be somebody that's multi-talented really to stick around. For us, it's like if you don't bring, a number of different skill sets or be the best, like be the best builder or the best welder or the best painter, like some of those skills, if you're really good at some of the, kind of classical trades like that, like you're worth a lot to our company, or if you can kind of be jack of all trades and wear a bunch of different hats. Like I still wear probably 10 different hats at the company and it's challenging. It's not like 20 like I used to do. I have great staff now, but like it is a lot sometimes when you're trying to kind of juggle and prioritize. And then when we need more help, like it's okay, well, we really need a builder, but we also kind of need a delivery guy and we also kind of need a salesperson and we also kind of need a welder. So like somebody comes in and they check two or three or four of those boxes and you're like, okay, let's, or they come in and they're like, I'm an outstanding welder. Like, great. Okay. Well, you have that figured out. And, other guys can lean into some of these other needs. So it's wild. Yeah. Like I think the working field for everybody has changed so much, especially since COVID, and everybody kind of trying to reshuffle the deck and figure out, what the needs are, where people fit in.
Yeah, and every brand wants to be profitable, and many brands, you know, they don't sell, in different verticals. Like they don't sell high ticket items. They sell 20, 30, 50, $100 items. So they need to be looking after their, expenses, and that includes headcount. So I've recently interviewed many, you know, let's say 8-figure brands. And one of them, I remember it was only her and her husband. And they brought their first full timer, I think it was like a few months ago. So it was wild. And they were doing like early, like a low 10, 8 figures, sorry, like, just $10 million, but not just, it was a lot of money just
Yeah.
her.
For two people, that's amazing.
And some other, 50, $40 million dollar companies here in the podcast. Then when I reviewed them, at least they were under 10. So I know that it's not easy, especially these days, to, have like, let's say, single skilled people or with a single task. Like everyone needs to be, willing to do whatever for the company within
Right.
certain parameters, of course. But yeah, it's a totally common thing. So I wanted to ask, do you feel that people buy due to because of the functionality, because of the story, because of the wow effect? Have you found the reasons why they buy your products? And are they different for B2B and for B2C?
Yeah, absolutely. We push the sustainability factor a lot, and I think it hits home with a lot of people. And I think we do end up getting quite a few sales like throughout the year with just people respecting the fact that we're keeping the stuff out of the landfills and we're upcycling and we're making an impact there, which is really cool. But if we run like, let's say, a promotion for like, hey, buy some sustainable chairs, etc., it doesn't really work. Like, really doesn't move the needle. It's kind of disappointing. Like, there's so many people that really consider themselves, even the people that I'm connected with, hundreds of people on LinkedIn that work in sustainability, and I almost never get an order from any of them. Now, they may be just wildly underfunded, but it's like they can't put their money where their mouth is. You know what I mean? But like the sales and marketing and experiential event people and all those people, they're all buying. So it's like they get it, but it's like funny how the feel good sustainability side of things is kind of, what so many people see, like, especially people that want to interview us or, talk about kind of how cool the company is. Like that's what they see. And I think ultimately it does help a lot, but it's like, it really isn't like a real driver of sales or growth, which is kind of funny. Like it's more of a in the background kind of a thing. I think it is really also just like the customizability of it and the durability of it, and like, hey, you're gonna spend 500-600 bucks on this cool chair, but if you really think it's cool or you really want to customize it to something that's highlights your interest, etc., like it's going to last you 10, 20 years. Like it's more of like a value buy. And people want something nice and quality. Like you're going to buy the $100 sneakers more than you're going to buy the $30 sneakers because they're going to last you a year versus maybe a few months. So I think a lot of times it's we're actually selling just this handcrafted, cool, made in America good that so many of us love those kinds of things. Like but that can be big anywhere. And back to what you were saying in your previous question, I wanted to throw in too. I saw the guy Robert from Shark Tank, Herjavec, I can't say his last name right, but he was talking last night how I saw a clip on LinkedIn how at his company everybody's card is the same, and we've been doing this for 20 years. We just have one business card, and it just has the company phone number, and obviously everybody has their own emails and texts and stuff like that. But it's his point with it, which I didn't even realize I'd been doing all these years, was like, if you don't like have the company first, like as an employee, and like I always try to put all my employees first, is they put the company first in return. It's like nobody just has this like little like I am marketing associate or I am, this specific title that we have. None of us have titles. Really, we all end up being like jack of trades. Like I'm the sales guy, I'm the painter, I'm the delivery guy, I'm also the welder. Like we have quite a few guys that are multi-talented, and almost all of us have that. It's kind of just really in the end, it's like we're here to service the customers and we're here to help out. And if that means, you're going to talk to somebody or send a tracking number or, help them get something right, like we're all just kind of all hands on deck. Like it's almost more like a pirate ship or something where there's this team and everybody's multi-talented and everybody's jumping in and doing whatever it takes to get the customers what they want and keep people happy. And it's kind of neat. Like it's very different how we do it. But I was pleasantly surprised to see one of these big, successful, billionaire dudes saying, "Oh yeah, that's exactly how we do it, and we do it for a reason." I'm just like, okay,
That's
that's
amazing.
cool. Kind of validates what I've always been thinking. Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, before we were told to fit into certain buckets, and if that was your bucket, that's it. That's you. It defines you as a person, you know. And these days, with let's say, if this is a word in English, democratization or whatever,
Yeah.
of social media, exposure media, content
Hmm.
creation, commerce in general, before if
Yeah.
you have a factory or owned a studio or well, you couldn't do business. Now you see teenagers, you see like very talented people that before they couldn't. It's not that these people didn't exist before. Like they couldn't show
They
their
have a
work.
stage now. Yeah.
Yeah, and now they have a voice.
They're
Before the
you on the 600-person stage.
voice
Yeah.
was given, and it was a lot of bureaucracy in TV channels and networks, and now that exists. But like these people
Like you can go to market right away. Yeah.
influence than these many of them, right? So if you think about it, it makes sense because we were born for more than a single
Yeah.
task. It evolves.
Yeah.
Business evolve, and people want more things, And I think that's the key for people to stay longer in a company. Personally, I believe that as well because this is your task. This is you do this for 20 years. Some people love that. Don't get me wrong,
Some people do love it.
right?
If
So
your
it's
brain's wired that way, like we allow for that too. Like there's been quite a few guys that are kind of just like, I just want to, make the wooden chair bases and you know, cut, route, sand, stain, like that's enough, and some guys just want to do, I'm just doing this one thing and they're great at it and we leave them alone, and we'll have them try something else and they're not as comfortable doing that. And so we're like, you know what, go back to that. If you're happy, we're happy. Like it's not always the multi-talented folks that last here. It's knowing your comfort zone and, going with your strengths is sometimes great too, but I feel like it's much more rare than it used to be.
yeah. I want to talk. Just one of the probably final questions is about AI. I cannot skip AI. I cannot not talk about AI. So I think in this case, I don't know if you stopped to think about how you can implement AI in your business or if you are already implementing that. But I think that, a brand that I know here in Argentina, they are like, I don't know if worldwide, I think they sell in the US, but they're well known in Latin America and they sell shoes, but super high end shoes. Like they want to be like Shimmy Shoe or I don't know, those high end brands like Prada or I don't know, but
Yeah.
designers.
Okay.
They allow their customers to build their custom shoe through prompts online and they buy it and they manufacture the shoe for them.
That's
I have
cool.
a podcast here in Argentina too. I record in studio. I interviewed them earlier this year and I learned about that. And it was like, whoa, this is cool. Are you
Yeah.
doing that or thought about doing, hey, you bring these skis, take a photo. What do you have in mind? Play around with the design and we'll make it happen if it's possible.
Yeah. My web designer, Chris, and he's been here like 12 years and we've been playing around with a lot of different variations and optimizations and just things that we can do on the website, yeah, to help with creativity and basically like pick a chair and then, scan it in the room and you can kind of see like what it looks like in your space. We've been trying to integrate those. We've got a couple new launches we're going to be doing in the next few months that'll make the website a lot easier. And it is helpful on some level. Like on the other hand, I don't think it's going to be cutting any boards or doing, doing anything specifically yet, unless we can afford like a GM or Ford or Toyota or something level production facility with, $1 million machines that are making this stuff. We're nowhere near that yet, but I know like, for small time manufacturers like us, like I think it's going to help on the shopping experience side, and certainly like the sales and marketing and blogging side. Like there's a lot of things you can do to, enhance what you're already doing, but yeah, a lot of it, like there's also, I think, people leaning into it a little bit too hard. There's a lot of companies that hit us up all the time of like, we're an AI based marketing agency, things like that. I check and they don't have any reviews. They're all like startups, and they don't know what they're doing. They're just winging it with like, what can we do to do this faster? But if it doesn't really work yet, like a lot of stuff is still needs, a lot of beta testing, and like, people are getting excited about it, but it's, kind of putting the cart before the horse type of thing. But it is funny, like to see what things will really work and things that maybe won't. But it's going to be wild. Yeah. Hopefully it, doesn't go bad. Hopefully this isn't a Terminator movie that we're ever in. But you know, in general, I think it's been a lot of neat things recently that I've been seeing. I've got a lawyer buddy that's been, teaching himself like educational. He'll have like the AI do like a PowerPoint sort of instructional video, or do like a podcast essentially based on, he'll say like, grab these 20 articles, online on research, etc., and teach it to me in a 20-minute podcast as I'm driving to work. And so like there's things like that are already just easy AI, click, click, go.
Yeah.
Like, that I've got a lot of friends that are utilizing it, really neat ways to kind of just, level up your own learning and planning, and, help speed up your productivity. So those things are really cool to like to see what ways we can, just take it to the next level on just being smarter people too.
Yeah. I think that I've recently said this like a broken record over and over. And it's that I believe that technology, like we've been waiting for technology for many years, and now technology is waiting for us.
Yeah, I like that.
1,000 things to do right away.
Yeah,
And
it's like we're just trying to think about how we can use this. Yeah.
yeah, so what I always advise people is like, choose your battles wisely. It doesn't need to be something that moves the needle a lot right away. It could be a small test to get your feet wet with
Yeah.
AI. It could be something like, I don't know, something that you already have, and you it's probably accumulating dust for some reason. I don't know, reviews. Everyone has reviews. Okay, have reviews. Do you have post-purchase surveys, or do you have any other data from customers? You can start by exporting that, put it into ChatGPT. No fancy tool, nothing like that. Like ChatGPT, just ask, spot patterns, pain points. What do they love? Is it for them, for somebody else, or whatever that is relevant to your business? And try to get answers. For some business, I don't know, we found that 72% of their customers were gift givers and didn't even know. And
Didn't
they're
realize that was going on. Yeah.
talking about that, and 50% of those gift givers were giving gifts to close family members. So it was like, what's going on? Was this data
Uh,
always here? And yes, is the answer is yes. It's been
hiding behind this like curtain in your mind somehow. Yeah.
like all the skis, that you have in your basement, probably without forming them into Colorado ski chairs. But the beauty of it is you can explore with some
Yeah.
little things.
Analytics and data like that is amazing. Yeah. You can get so much good information.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
And quickly.
Yeah, and then you can probably do better stuff or more pro stuff. But for now, you can say, "Huh, what can I do with this data?" Everyone I speak with, like last year, it was like, yeah, I kind of use AI, and some people said I use AI every week. Now it's like I live with AI. It's like my co-pilot. I tell him about what I'm feeling. Like the other day, I went to the doctor, yes, but I did some routine health checks, and I couldn't help it but uploading those to ChatGPT and say, what do they mean? And blah, blah,
What
blah.
is
Then
this?
I went, of course, everything was good, but it's like, it's like business coach mode, like copywriter, like you name it. It's like, everyone is like, how can I improve this? How can I do this with that? Some companies are building AI agents to, I don't know, the same way people or companies have, a quiz on the website, probably it makes more sense to have an AI agent that can guide customers or potential customers through their experience and find the best product or custom product in your case for them, right? So
Yeah.
different companies, different options, but there are plenty of them. You just need to pick
Yeah.
one with and move from there.
Yeah. Just being a consumer, I think it's going to be wild to see, our shopping experience has evolved the next few years. It's going to be really neat to see how many new offerings and how quickly they know like what type of shopper you are quickly. Like I wish I could do that now. Like if you log into my site and somehow it already knows like you're shopping for, Marriott, for, FF&E, those people, we want them. And I don't want to be pitching them like, buy this shot ski or buy this, little chair for your deck or whatever. Like, no, they're looking for probably a chairlift or a giant chair with their logo on it or something like that. Like, just help people get to, where they're looking for quicker. And if it's truly just a better experience for the shopper, that's going to be neat. But like, yeah, like I want to see how do the grocery stores and how do these other guys kind of, start to do that in real life too, not just online. I think things are going to really shift over the next, 5 and 10 years too.
Yeah, 100%. So I wanted to ask you, no worries. So to wrap up, I wanted to ask you, you've been in business for, let's say 18 years. Where do you see your company in the next 18 years? If that's not a stretch.
Yeah, I could still be running it, I may sell it and retire at some point. I'll be 50 this year, so I don't work forever, but yeah, I mean, my dad is in his 80s now, and he's retired like 5 times and keeps working, keeps finding part-time work to go back to. We're definitely kinda workaholic type family, but, I really love time with my kids and with my wife, my dog, and with my parents, and lots of friends and family that I don't have time for because I'm working too much. At some point, I'm gonna slow it down, but yeah, I could see it evolving into a much bigger brand. Like we take on the right team and the right partners, and I've seen it grow in so many different ways. We're working, like I said, with some of these bigger corporations, and Vail Resorts just put an order in for a bunch of chairs, which was kind of neat because they're one of the bigger players in the ski industry. Seeing some of these other companies get involved and really, some of the sustainability minded folks like really, leaning into buying local handcrafted stuff that's going to hold up and not just whatever's cheap, to get the job done, that kind of stuff. So I think it's a neat time for us and to see, that we're still hanging in there even when things are tough and, kind of keep trying to pivot. So I think, yeah, the future's, I feel like even brighter than, the 18 years we've been through already. So, yeah, I'm hoping, I have 3 kids and they all have careers doing different things now. So they're not going to be taken over, which is great. I'm happy for all of them. I do have some amazing employees that probably would want to stick around for pretty much forever, which is awesome. So if we can move into some sort of long-term plan where I can kind of limit my roles a little bit, I think we could keep it going really strong for a really long time. And, you know, if I do hand over the keys someday, I think I want to be sure it's somebody that shares my vision of, just providing really awesome stuff that, is going to hold up and keep customer service at ultimate, highest possible level and, really take care of people and provide something awesome and unique and different that nobody else is doing. So I keep trying to reinvent what does that look like. And as long as that's still all intact, I think it's
I
got a bright future. Yeah. Yeah. We've done like surfboard chairs and wakeboard chairs. So like, yeah, Argentina's always been on my bucket list. I want to get down there and see you sometime, buddy. That's pretty cool. I love it. It looks like great skiing down there.
Yeah, Patagonia. Yeah,
Yeah, that looks amazing. I've had a few friends go do it, and I'm like, all right, before I'm too old, I gotta go down.
you gotta come down here. So it
Yeah.
was good to have you here in the podcast. And for those interested in learning more about your company, where can they go?
Oh yeah, our website's great, coloradoskichairs.com. And if you're ever in Colorado, we're just an hour south of Denver, and couple hours from the ski resorts. We're right down here in Colorado Springs, Olympic City, USA. So there's tons of athletes around here. It's one of the fittest cities in America, like a lot of outdoorsy folks, but it's a really neat town. I've been here over 20 years now. I love it. So come through and see us.
Amazing. Great. So if you are
Yeah.
listening to this or watching this, why not? First off, thank you. We've been doing this for a long time now, not as long as Adam with his business. We started this in 2021. This is the 5th season, over 200 episodes recorded with amazing founders such as Adam. So thank you for listening. Give us a thumbs up on YouTube, review on Spotify or Apple, always 5 stars, of course. But it was great having you, Adam. Thanks for being on the show. Thank you guys for listening.
Thanks, Brian. Yeah. Have a great day, guys.
This episode was brought to you by BSR Digital. We help DTC brands grow through paid ads and email marketing campaigns. If you'd like us to help your business grow, head on over to bsrdigital.com and schedule a call with us.